I'm Sarah Schelbenbach, and I'm here today with a video to show some of our math features on our Cadence tablet with one of our blind employees, Greg.
A single line display you can't use it to look at any sort of graphical content, right? Because you could, I suppose, if you scrolled through an image line by line, but you have no reference back to what you were looking at. So, in general, the obvious thing is that it allows you to look at more content at the same time. So whether that's text, whether that's being able to look at a tactile graphic or, look at an image, because you have more, you actually have a two-dimensional surface, you can look at more content. You obviously, again, you can't do animations. You can't do, from an academic standpoint, like if I were in school, the things that I always wanted a multi-line braille display for was being able to skim through text. Because skimming line by line is not really skimming. B, when I was doing math problems, only being able to refer to a single line of text at a time is kind of hard because you're working on one line while you're referring back to others to see what you had done previously. And you can't do that with a single line display.
So what are your favorite math features on the Cadence?
Well, at the moment, I think the best math feature is the ability to graph functions and to look at them in tactile form.
Can you get to them?
Yeah, let me pull that up. So for instance, if I go into the graphing calculator and I can I will type in on my favorite function, sine of x, and then, so you can graph the function, and so there you have part of a sine wave graphed on axes. I can zoom out so that you see more of the function. And I like to pull the y, zoom in a little bit so you get more of the curve I like to see. So here you have the shape of the curve on the axes. I can then add a legend so that it tells me what values of x and y are being displayed on the graph. Then the neat thing is you can do curve following. So now I have a blinking cursor along the curve. It's right there. And now my legend tells me that I'm at 0.00 on the graph. So then as I scroll and move the cursor along the graph, well, actually, let's move so I'm not on a minimum again. So here, now it tells me that I'm at 3.597 on my x-axis, or on the x, and my y-coordinate is negative 0.4395. So it allows me to move along the graph and actually see the coordinates of where I am on the graph. We have other functions or other capabilities here. So if I go to curve functions, for instance, so I can, if I want to move to a particular point, so if I pull up the x, so I'll find x value, and now I can type in 3 and hit enter. And so now it moves me to the point on the graph where I'm at 3 on the x-axis. And then, then we have other functions. So for instance, if I want to find, like a local, where it's at a local minimum, so where it's at a minimum on the graph. So it pulls up, it just uses math and finds where the minima are. And so I can choose, I can go all the way. Let's see, which way is this going? Oh, here we go. Wait, why don't I have this? Oh, because it's not. Then I can pick and it'll move me to that point on the graph again. So, that's actually really handy to be able to move along the curve and do all those sorts of things.
Tactile engineering logo and website link.